What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Welcome back to another video. Today we are reacting to Weave's Reasonable Crash Outs number 3. I've saw the first two videos. Now we are doing the third one. Without being further ado, I got nothing else to say. Let's get right into this.
Yes!
And so, we have returned to the infamous series of reasonable crash outs. I once again want to say I appreciate everybody who's tapped into these videos because they went dumb, stupid, crazy. We were going 2 for 2 with these, it's mad. And I really do want to turn this into a crazy series where I can talk about a bunch of different characters from everywhere. So hopefully we can keep getting some motion on these. Now I've done some parading, some researching, and a lot of information gathering to find some more people to cover and why them acting a certain type of way was just making sense. How bugging out and going crazy for these characters was justified at the moment. And how we can look at some of these characters and really relate to them. And trust me when I say there's a bunch of times these moments happen that we can all agree had to happen. And I selected a certain few today to add to the league. So without further yapping, let's get into it, man. And we are starting with one of the greatest MCU characters of all time. The man who pioneered the whole entire generation of Marvel movies and is straight up practically the Godfather. And I'm speaking about none other than the invincible Iron Man. Now hopefully we can all agree as a collective, Iron Man has one of the most
R.I.P. Ozzy Osbourne, bruh. R.I.P.
some reasonable crash outs of all time, and there's no arguing, it's impossible. I can understand the whole divide between being a team Cap and a team Iron Man throughout the whole of Civil War, whether that be you were just against the Sokovia Accords or you were just team Iron Man because Spider-Man was there. We ain't judging, man, we ain't judging, but I understand both perspectives.
I was team Iron Man because of Iron Man. I could care less about Spider-Man. Spidey, right there. Actually the door is right there.
And how people can lean one way or the other. And I want to start off by saying I am not agreeing with the Sokovia Accords. I don't believe in giving the government the ability to ever have control over superheroes. This is not the boys universe, bro. You mean to tell me if a city is getting leveled, I gotta ask you for permission before I go? Shut the hell up, man. What are you talking about? And then if they needed me for some shit saying the president needs you to jump, I'm supposed to ask how high? What? Bro, I swear if I was a superhero, I would crash out of the government. I've mentioned before, the government are always the stupidest people in all superhero movies. They're all haters. Reminds me of Lex Luthor on the late Superman movie because low-key this guy was a
Oh, spoilers. Spoilers, so if you don't want to get spoiled, skip it. That man hated Superman with a passion. This man at one moment was so angry, tears came out of his eyes. How angry you gotta be for tears running out of your eyes? He was like this whole time. And tears came out. Nah.
a D1 level hater. He was button mashing, talking about 1A, 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 1A. The guy was a sicko, man. However,
he was going crazy. 1A, 1A, 1A. Damn, he was feeling
the difference between Iron Man and Captain America's standpoints are just very personal to each of them. Iron Man just saw what people with power were doing with his technology throughout his entire trilogy, selling weapons to mass governments, which in turn caused a bunch of casualties and destruction among a lot of people, which probably swayed him more to aligning himself to the government. And after everything that happened in Sokovia and all the problems Ultron caused, which Iron Man held himself accountable for since he even brought up the idea of Ultron, it just made sense. And at the time, it just flipped a switch in him, saying that heroes in general need to take more accountability for their actions and be held responsible. Whereas Captain America, somebody who stood behind the government working for them and completing loads of missions for them, just saw how they were corrupted with groups like Hydra infiltrating giant groups like S.H.I.E.L.D. in the Winter Soldier, and seeing what they did to Bucky, which just showed him that he couldn't trust him at all, making him have a whole mindset of just operating off the freedom of doing it themselves and keeping saving the world amongst other heroes. Both of these arguments make sense, and I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't hate on you if you were on one side or the other, but I do think at times in the movie, and that's shown throughout the entire MCU, let's be real now, Iron Man was not gonna go through with the Accords like that, man. I mean, like I said earlier, even though Iron Man was swinging more to the government side, he was still the same guy who wouldn't listen to anybody if they told him to do something crazy. Like when they tried to take his suits in Iron Man 2 and bro was just straight up airing them. Or even near enough to the end of Civil War when Steve breaks into the raft to break everybody out on his side, Tony gets a call from General Ross to come defend him, but he just sends this man straight to voicemail. So really and truly, this kind of made Iron Man's whole ideology of even following the Accords throughout the entire movie useless. And why would he follow it fully? He's Iron Man. His whole personality is never really following the rules like that, I'll be real. But truthfully, I wouldn't say it's useless unless I didn't think Iron Man was doing it for more of an important reason. Let me open your eyes here, let me explain. I really and truly believe to some extent that Iron Man was more on the side of the Sokovia Accords and Civil War being approved was because he wanted to keep the Avengers together. Like in the hangar scene before they're about to scrap, Tony then says you're gonna come because it's us. He didn't have no motivational speech planned out or even some quick quip or joke about taking this shit more seriously. Tony just straight up said how it was. He just wanted to keep the Avengers together rather than being labeled terrorists or just straight up villains. And this is what pulled me more to Iron Man's side, because even though Captain America was making a really good case throughout the movie,
both sides were right, they had reason, but
and literally being the only guy to read their codes to actually see what the hell they were getting themselves into, it's the way that Tony sees this as more keeping his family together and making sure all the man them are cool with each other. And plus, we all know damn well even if they all signed it, they wouldn't have followed it anyway. What the hell are we talking about? Iron Man is the last person to take orders from anyone, remember that. But genuinely, the real reason why I'm Team Iron Man is because Captain America is a flipping snake. There is no way in life,
I don't know about Snake.
in the beauty of life and planet Earth
Is he talking about Bucky?
so that I confidently would watch a flipping video of my parents.
Okay, yeah. Is it really a snake if you're trying to defend the best friend, who, by the way, has been there when he was getting beat up in the alleyway? Wait. But Iron Man was like, "He killed my parents. He gotta die."
Parents getting murked, and you really think I'm not gonna activate knowing the murderer is 2 steps away from me? Are you mad? Shut the hell up, man, and get out my way. This is still one of the biggest debates people have today. Civil War came out 9 years ago and people still talk about this shit. Bucky just standing there just watching Tony watch the tape, knowing full well that he murked his parents, even saying in the movie he remembers everyone. Even though it wasn't him, I couldn't give less of a shit, man. If I saw this tape, no hesitation, in 5 seconds I'm gonna laser the shit out of Bucky, hit him with this 3-piece combo and a flipping foot dive. I'm telling you, regardless of the guy consciously committing the action or not, what sane individual would actually let the murderer of their parents go free? What the hell are we talking about here? If you were in Iron Man's shoes, the only thing on your mind, whether you are mentally stable or not, would undeniably be absolute fury. Especially knowing the murderer is right next to you, you're taking a piss. We've seen moments like this time and time again in Marvel movies. From Thor chopping off Thanos' head in Endgame because he violated the man in movie before, to Peter Quill absolutely shooting the shit out of Ego like he's Django for killing his mom. And all of these moments generally came from emotion. But then again, the crazy confrontation Tony had and his crash out against Bucky could have been avoided if Cap told the guy he killed his parents. Cap had so much time to tell this guy he murdered his parents. The gap between the Winter Soldier and Civil War in the MCU timeline is 2 years. So he had 2 years.
I will say, he did should have told Iron Man. He should have told him.
Tell him that, oh shit, Bucky killed your parents, man. But nah, he didn't tell him. And instead of just trying to subdue both Tony and Bucky, he just joined sides with Bucky and starts jumping this man. That's crazy. But it didn't matter, because Iron Man was handing them their asses in a fight. But then he lost because it's a Captain America movie, which is some bullshit, man. Just saying though, if you were a Team Cap or a Team Iron Man, I still respect you. I mean, the Accords don't make no sense. Hopefully we can all agree that was definitely some bullshit. But nonetheless, Tony was betrayed by his friend, his teammate, and only wanted to keep the team together. And I can understand Cap's perspective on why he was pulling some of the crap in the movie. Bucky is his oldest friend and he wanted to save him, but he was just dead wrong for how he went about it, thus betraying Tony, which wasn't the right move, even with him knowing prior that he killed his parents, which he should have just told the guy in advance so he probably wouldn't have reacted the way he did. Iron Man bugging out just made sense, and if I was put into his same position, I'm packing Bucky. I swear this man is finished. Now going on to my next crash out, we have one of the greatest superheroes of all time, somebody who took the role of being a hero professionally and wanted to be better, the man himself. Now let's just cut the shit. Mark has been hold since season 1 of the show. He's always trying to do
Are we talking about the recent seasons? I haven't finished this
the right thing and be the hero he aspired to be. But somehow, some way, this guy gets into the most hater situations and gets his shit rocked 9% of the time. I'll be honest, before the end of season 3, Mark had way too much patience. Cause if it were me, we'd be fighting.
Yeah, okay. This is spoilers. So for that, I'm sorry, y'all. We gotta skip. We have to skip. We gotta skip, man. This is spoilers. Where are we at now? Okay, that's still invincible.
Be on his bad.
Nope.
every last bit of it. Bro couldn't get enough of absolutely whipping this man. He was getting turned on boxing with him and enjoying.
Alright, man.
Darkwing, who killed a bunch of people, and he even put a device in Mark's brain which could potentially kill.
Okay.
Person would barely get angry, but when they did, it was 100% justified. They would be bugging at the most serious situations that we could all relate to, and they were just speaking facts. But without further yap, I present to you the one and only SpongeBob SquarePants. And despite SpongeBob always being a happy go-to guy who rarely displays anger and ever actually throws a fit, in life, it's always the people that never get angry that you should never anger, because these guys just start going crazy. Every time SpongeBob would go loco, there was always a reason behind it. Like when Squidward was crashing at this guy's place because he was homeless after quitting his job at the Krusty Krab, and he was talking crazy to this guy. He was demanding drinks and entertainment off the guy in a maid outfit. He was sus, man. And the look on SpongeBob's face every time he would get asked something, he was fuming, fam. You can see the mob meter build up. He was about to start going crazy. SpongeBob was getting so pressed that he was spelling his food, get a job, and he still wasn't taking the hint. And cause Squidward wasn't listening, SpongeBob fully broke the roof of his own crib, dragging him all the way to the Krusty Krab and threatening Mr. Krabs like crazy, telling him to give his job back. And this wasn't the only time SpongeBob crashed out. There's other times like Patrick not getting the footage for a movie they were supposed to be filming, and SpongeBob went crazy. The guy was out here eating worms and shit. Or when SpongeBob got stuck in a ringer and Patrick glued the guy to it with forever glue, ruining the guy's day completely.
That's just fun.
All the time, Patrick and SpongeBob were looking after a baby, and he just dashed ice cream and donuts over Patrick. He was pressed there. Every single time SpongeBob would actually get mad, it was actually for a good reason. Even when Mr. Krabs was teaching this man how to make a Krabby Patty, and he was bugging, SpongeBob doesn't even get mad like that. Him and Patrick usually always bait Squidward and get this guy completely pressed every 5 seconds. But with every time SpongeBob would get angry, he was angry for a reason. And that's saying a lot, because half of the dumb stuff these guys do are for no reason and don't really add up. But in conclusion, SpongeBob is definitely up there, man. He's up there. But now we're at the end, and these were some more reasonable crash outs I had. If you man got any more or disagree with the ones I mentioned, let me know in the comments below. I appreciate it. I love all you, man. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Alright, man. W video. I forgot to say this, but if you guys do want to watch the Invincible one, the video, the original video, will be linked down below in the description. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I don't got nothing else to say, so I will see y'all later. Peace.